G'day guys, welcome back to the Aussie Gooner channel, and yes, this is the fucking sequel to the North London derby. We are reviewing the shambles that was, is, and fucking will never be forgotten. And I am joined here today, star-studded team, with my fellow Australian and Spud, Marty Mariner. How you going, mate? How you going? How you feeling? Feeling good,
mate,
aren't you?
I'm feeling all right, mate. I'm feeling all right. I'm a bit less stressed than I was a couple of days ago, mate.
Of course you are. Yeah, look at you. You got that smile on your face too, haven't you? Yeah, we'll sort that one out.
Yeah.
Kenny Ken.
Yeah, thanks.
Kenny Ken, mate. Welcome back, mate. How's things, buddy? I know you're not going to be fucking feeling good.
I'll tell you one thing. Getting to Tottenham Stadium was a lot different than it was before because we actually were in North London. Like I said, obviously I'm from North London, but some of the people we know, some are from the West London, some are from like Wembley, and some of the guys are from like South London and Kent. So they all met up at the Pins in Finsbury Park, and we thought of getting a W3, but we turned that down because he said it was too long. So he said, let's get a 259. Nope, they divert you. So we thought we were going to all get a train. We're all going to get a tube to Seven Sisters and get a train to White Hart Lane, but I think we saw too many Spurs fans on there, so we just said, let's just walk from Seven Sisters. So we walked all the way there, and then when we all split up and got to the ground, we realised that our away end was right into the shadows near the Sainsbury's, but we actually walked past the home end. No one noticed who we were anyway because we weren't wearing colours.
You're not wearing colours?
No, you don't wear colours.
I'm wearing colours if I can't give a fuck.
The thing that gets us right is that Spurs fans can come to our ground, no aggro, but when we go there, there's loads of aggro. So we always advise our fans, don't wear any colours. Make sure you don't talk too loudly, don't sing any songs, and just make sure you get there. And there was one guy who was singing songs. I was thinking, come on, mate, let's just get to the ground and we're not too far away. So we finally went through past Mr. Gauntlet, got there, and we basically got our tickets. And they just said, look, just go in there and enjoy yourself. So we were there for about an hour before kickoff. And then that was the good bit, seeing the stadium, seeing our seats with beautiful seats. Apart from that, it kicked off, and that's when it went all wrong.
Mate, that fucking game to be honest, look, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm watching this game. I was on a watch along Northside LDN. I'm real quick, guys. If you guys haven't subscribed to this channel, please do me a favor, subscribe, because us boys are doing the best we can. I mean, I'm going to do a little plug for myself. You know how it is. I watched the first 20 minutes, and I'm watching us play, and it looked like it was a back and forth, Kenny Ken. It looked like, I mean, Spurs were pushing us, we were pushing them, they were exposing us, we were exposing them. It was as if we were feeling each other out. You know, in a boxing match, before we start going, we get in there, we feel each other out to see what it's about. You know what I mean? No Tyson fight here. And that was the first 20 minutes for me. No shit. The first 20 minutes felt like this game is looking tight, both ends. And then we see a fucking penalty. Now, I don't know what you thought of the first 20 and the pen. But Kenny, I'm going to throw this at you, and then Marty, you tell me, mate. Kenny, what do you reckon, mate? What did you see? First 20 minutes and then the pen.
Well, the first 20 minutes, we started off trying to press them through Martinelli, trying to press Emerson Royal, and he was trying to press their players when they tried to play out at the back. When they realised it wasn't a good idea, they were first to every ball, Tottenham. Every interception in midfield, Højbjerg, and even Bentancur won the ball. They completely ravished us. And then down our left-hand side, we got absolutely murdered. You know, people say about the penalty, I was right there. As soon as Kulusevski, at first, when we looked like, I was thinking, hang on it. At first, it looked like it was Emerson Royal, but when I looked again, it was Kulusevski put the cross in. As soon as he put the cross in, I thought, oh, Song's going to put them 1-0 up. So when he ended up on the floor, I could see Cedric keeping him out of the way. As soon as I saw it, I just thought, ref's getting a penalty there. Because even though a lot of Arsenal fans are saying, oh, it's a soft penalty. If they went to VAR, that would have been given. So regardless of whether it's a soft penalty or not, that is a penalty. We can't complain. Yeah, and then when Spurs scored the first goal, they were in the ascendancy. Song and Kane all the things I said on Wednesday, where I said at no point should we allow Song or Kane to drop in the midfield, particularly Kane. What we do, let him drop in the midfield. We said don't let our defenders follow him and get too tight out of the box. What do? They got too tight. Spurs played us like fiddle. You know, we were outfought, outrun. They had more passion than us. They treated it like a derby more. And Arteta got out-coached by a better coach. But I think what's happened is the motivation that Spurs had for the North London derby was a lot different than us. Our club, for some peculiar reason, thought all they had to do is turn up and beat Spurs. We're listening too much to the good things we're hearing about, we've got a young team and Arteta's doing a great job, he's improved us. And going to North London derby, you've got to realise is that in the last 11, 12 years, it's gone with home form. All this nonsense about, form goes out the window, it's not actually quite true. Because in that time, in those 12 years, Spurs have only won once at our ground and we've only won once there. So it's always been home form, especially at their ground when we always get beaten and beaten badly.
Yeah, no. It was, honestly, I can't. And Marty, look, I know I'm going to let you on. Honestly, I can't see an issue. And this is a fucking spade, right? I can't see a fucking issue with that being a pen. I know it's soft, but I miss the days where I can see fucking Vinnie Jones slam into fucking Cantona, scissor fucking kick the fucker, and it's not even a card. If we can go back to those days, Marty, Kenny Ken, I'm pretty sure we'll all agree, good football. But we're not there anymore. It's soft cock football now. So that for me, that's a pen. Marty, what do you reckon? You saw it. Yeah. You saw those first 20 minutes. Tell me what you reckon.
And I'm the same. There's the pens that are nailed on, and there's the pens that are on the softer side. And I'll admit, it was on the softer side. But players all over, Son included, they know these things now. They know that if they get a touch, that it's going to go to a VAR if the referee's not sure. So I think the referees now. I mean, the purist in me was glad the referee went pen. Yeah, gave it straight away. Didn't spur it. Didn't do anything else. He went pen. And I think there was enough in it for the referee to do that. Was it on the softer side? 100%. But what's getting me, and I agree, is now players are, getting touched, down we go, getting touched, down we go. Give me a pen, and the referee, slow it down, look at the VAR and all that. That's where the problem is. That's where the problem is for me. But I mean,
it's football. And you know what? The thing is, everyone sits there and says, it's soft, it's soft. Football has gotten soft. I mean, Mark Clattenburg came out, and I don't know if you know Kenny. Kenny came out and he was saying, look, he looks at that and he goes, there's plenty of other games where we could talk about that happening in the box and blah, blah, blah. That's cool, Mark, but we all know about the inconsistencies with refereeing decisions in the Premier League. Hence, why we don't have any fucking of these refs in the World Cup. So
exactly.
So I know you want to chat, like Mark wants to chat. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, you're right. You're spot on. Go sort out all the other mistakes, because there's been plenty of times where mistakes have been made in our favour or gone against us, and that can go for Tottenham, that can go for Liverpool, that can go for United, that can go for every team in the Premier League. I've got to call a spade a spade. I'm not going to sit here and start acting all wounded. It's the referee. No fucking excuses fucking here. I'm not blaming the ref. You cannot leave the game in a referee's hands. You do that, you're a fucking amateur. Yeah. And I mean, look, we deserve that penalty all day. And
all day long, it's penalty. Yeah. But you know what's happening here? We've got a lot of Arsenal fans, crying their eyes out. Rather than talking about the match, they're saying, the coverage is so biased against Arsenal. Everyone hates Arsenal. Referees hate Arsenal.
Okay.
You got ex-players saying, the anti-biased, the media anti-bias against Arsenal.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, these two ex-players who've said that work for these companies. One of them works for BT Sports and Talk Sport, and the other one does most of his stuff for an Asian company. But one of them has done punditry on Sky Sports. So I know there's a lot. I hear what you're trying to say, and I know you want to be one of the lads and one of the fans, but hang on here. Don't deflect from the fact that, say that we play badly. I know some of the pundits, our ex-players are employed at a football club. That's fair enough, but, football fans ain't stupid. the reason why the media think that football fans want to hear from an ex-player is because, you know, they think one, it looks good and it's generally accepted. But I think what we do in this country, I don't know what it was like up back in Australia, but here we think that if an ex-player says something about the game, they're always right. I mean, you're basically neglecting all the experience you have of watching a football match, either live or on TV, and that you've been doing this on a regular basis for about all your life. So you should be able to know about the game. You should be able to read it yourself to see, well, hang on, he's played 3 at the back. That's not right. Or we're playing 4-4-2. That's gone out of fashion. We could tell that ourselves. But what's happened right now, in order to support our position, in terms of like our argument, we either look at stats which are after the event, or we look at situations like an ex-player, and if he tells us what we want to hear, he's brilliant. If he doesn't say what we don't want to hear, he's biased or he talks rubbish. You know,
100%.
See, stat packing to make look. I've played the game and I watch the game and I analyze the game, and that's what I do. And I watch it from the backside because that's where I played. I played in the number 2. So for me, the most important thing is defense. Now, to be perfectly honest, right? For someone to sit here and tell me fucking, the referee this and the referee that, relax yourself, right? The game has changed. You can be a fan and you can look for excuses. But the more you hold on to fucking excuses, right, then there's not going to be any progress. Look, George Graham, I remember him coming out and saying that the referees are against Arsenal. I remember this, and we just have to live with it. This is George Graham. I remember that. Arsene Wenger came out and said the same thing. So what am I going to do? Sit here and whinge and moan? George Graham, how many years? From 90, he finished up in 93, 94. So we're whinging back then about fucking referees. It's now 2020 fucking bloody 2, and we're still whinging about referees. Get over it. You got no control on it. Get in there, play the game, and take the fucking game out of the referee's hands. You know what I mean, Marty?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying about. I mean, I am not a fan of VAR. I'm not a fan of it at all.
Not in England.
To me, get rid of the whole lot. You know, have the goal line technology. Put the ball over the line. I'm good with that. If the ball's gone over the line, that's a clear-cut thing. But I think we see more controversial decisions now because of VAR than we used to when a referee made a decision. You might have thought, I saw it live and that was a shit decision. But at the end of the day, you go, we get some, we don't get some, get on with it. Yeah. It makes it worse when you're seeing it, the referee's looking at it 50,000 times in slow-mo, and we're going, that means he meant it. That means the game's gone. If it's, you know, the supporters have gone to get a beer, they've gone to the toilet, they've come back, and we're still waiting to see whether the ball's, it's just ridiculous. So, you know, I'm not a fan of VAR anyway, but I think the thing with football, the game's changed. The game's changed.
I think the thing with football is that football, you know, is probably done really well to resist the changes, because all the things that, you know, like VAR, I think we always say football's ahead of the curve when it comes to other sports, and it is in terms of like what players get played and the merchandise that. Yeah. But in terms of like technology, football's very much behind. You know, rugby. You know, like the try where if your foot goes out, or if it's you know, like and you've got obviously cricket. You've got all those sort of technologies which have been light years behind. And I think the problem in football is that we've left it to referee. And the reason why we got VAR is because, and I think I suppose we're all to blame for this, like ex-players, journalists, ex-referees, fans. We said the referee needed more help, and that so we said, like, let's make them professional. So we made them professional, and then they're still making mistakes. So we said, right, let's get them the technology to help them, thinking that it was going to sort everything out. But the thing with the technology is that the guy in Stokely Park is basically his opinion. He's gone to a lot of, you know, like loads of cameras, and he said, right, in my opinion, this has happened. It's not fact, like goal line technology. Yeah. This is a letter law, and this is my interpretation. Have a look at it again. And that's why I said, go to that little camera and have a look, and then you make your decision. You know what I mean? Yeah. No. And I think that's the thing with thing about football in this country is that we've done everything we can to help the referees, and let's face it, our referees are just not good. The ones who are actually quite good, we don't like because they want to be stars. Like, you know, people like Mike Dean, very good referee, but he's a pain. But he wants to be a star,
prima donna,
and a prima donna. Yeah. And then before that, you had loads of good referees, but they're the people we like to hate because they want to be the star. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking oath, mate. Spot on, mate. Spot on.
But I mean, don't you think too though? Because referees, and this is the thing I'm talking about with VAR. A referee is on the field. He feels how the game's going. He knows. He can see players diving in a bit. He knows there's a bit of push and shove. He gets that feel. So if he sees something, he's going to base it off that. Yeah, this is getting feisty. He meant that. This is the guy in a VAR air-conditioned box with his cup of tea looking at a monitor doesn't have that feel.
He sees a little bit.
All he sees is contact. That's all he sees. And he must have meant that. That's,
you know the thing about,
you can't take it away from a referee like that.
You know another thing, Marty, right, is that one of the things we used to like about derbies is that referee, we like the referee to understand it's a derby, so we didn't mind if the tackles went in.
Yeah, allow it.
Derby. So all of a sudden, you're half of them don't want the feistiness of a derby, half do.
Yeah.
And then that's what caused the whole thing. Paul Tierney did his best to allow that to go. But the problem is, Spurs players were cute. Arsenal's weren't.
Yeah.
Rob Holding getting himself sent off as brain dead.
Yeah, mate.
You know,
all day. Brain
dead. He did it straight in front of the referee.
Over and over again.
Rolling over the den. If he pulled his shirt and let Song make a fool of himself, no yellow card for either player. Because he's rolling around, showing that he's panicking, the referee's got no choice. You've done it in front of the referee. The same with the trying to help. You know, you did him a 4-0 smash, but you fouled him, and you did a second obstruction. That's a second yellow. That's a yellow card. Obstruction's always been a yellow card.
Yeah. You can't go.
And you know you're on a card.
And you know you're on a card. You see, the referee even told him on the first. You remember when Rob Holding got in? This is the Holding situation. When Rob Holding was all over Son, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Arteta's pretty much ordered him, right, to do a number on him. Because it looked like to me, he's told him, I want you to do a number. Now, all right. Now, feel me on this. The first time he's gone in and he started to be an idiot, that's when he actually threw Son over the top. Now, Son's thrown that elbow, all right, which if he wanted to, Rob Holding could have just gone, and maybe, anyway, he's thrown him over the top like it was a fucking WWE fucking match. And the referee's come on and gone, that's two, here's a yellow. Now, when the referee tells you that's two, here's a yellow, that means he's watching your ass now. You're supposed to be professional. You're on shaky ground, right? Now, if this was Granit Xhaka, the whole world will be saying, fuck Granit Xhaka, I want him gone, this and that. Rob Holding goes ahead, gets that yellow, throws Son out like a fucking dirty rag, which don't get me wrong, I like rough and tough, but come on. And then after that, he goes ahead and does the elbow. In my mind, Arteta's given him the order to fucking take out Son. And
there's no doubt about that, because the situation is that he's, you know, Song is one of the. Let's face it. You look. I was in the ground, and when Song got the ball and he ran at pace, the whole of your ground, Marty, lit up. I thought we were in a sort of like. I thought it was like the gladiators and the Roman Empire, and was Roman Emperor was waiting to give everyone the thumbs up, the thumbs down. That's how exciting Spurs fans were when he gets the ball. And the same when Kane got the ball. You know, it was like it was crescendo noise. And Song really is, for a player that's really direct, who you think, well, he doesn't really have much, like, how I say it,
Techers.
Skill. You know, like I said, Tuckers. But boy, is he effective. His pace is unbelievable. He's got genuine pace. And what's one thing about it, you don't even know whether he's right footed or left footed. The only time you know he's right footed when he takes the corners.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I honestly think, in my mind, Son had to be handled, right? Holding was given the job to friggin' hammer him. Holding gets his first yellow card. Now tell me, Kenny Ken. He gets his first yellow. I'm Mikel Arteta. I remember the first derby. Who was on Son? Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu's on the left. I say, all right. I switch Cedric over there. I bring Tommy over here. And when I do that, I tell fucking Holding back off. Tommy will take care of fucking Son now because you're in car trouble. That's what a manager does. Now, I'm not Arteta in, Arteta out. I'm not that. But I call a spade a spade. That was a tactical fuck up. He should have made it.
Yeah, you think about Arteta. He's not. The only time Arteta is at his best is when we go up.
Yeah.
Then he brings Rob Holding and says, right, I know for a fact that teams who are not as technically gifted as the big boys, I'm going to put crosses in, and I want my three defenders to be able to head it out. And he'll basically say, right, sometimes my midfielders ain't going to stop the cross coming in. So just in case they don't stop the cross coming in, Rob Holding is going to be my third centre half, and he's very good at doing that. But as you said before, in terms of reacting to the situation, it was a trust issue, because what's happening right now, by putting Rob Holding in that situation, you know that if Gabriel does that, Gabriel's going to go too tight, like he did in the last derby last year, and then there was space to run into them. But let's face it, it wasn't just the Rob Holding incident. There were loads of battles that we'd lost. Granit Xhaka, took playing deep line midfielder to a certain, very literally, when, let's face it, he lost a midfield battle and left NLD to do two people's jobs. No surprise, because Granit Xhaka's done that, left Marty to do that last season.
And honestly, this is where, and Marty, I'll let you come in on this. This is where I was discussing Mohamed El-Neni's performance in this game, and I was on a watch along, everyone saying Mohamed El-Neni was shit. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Mohamed El-Neni just lost the starting centre-back that was behind him, right, his partner, and now he has to wipe up for him and the midfielder beside him, right? So in this game, I don't think Mohamed El-Neni was that bad. I think he did the best he could fucking do, and he was hung out to dry. Now, I don't know, Marty.
Xhaka hung him out to dry even when we had 11 men. He was leaving the man out to dry.
Yeah,
that's fact.
And you got the people on Twitter who say, "Oh, Xhaka's our midfield and what an inspiring performance," and we don't know what Xhaka does. We do know what Xhaka does. He's a deep lying midfielder who we keep out of harm's way, because if we get someone, if he gets tight to someone with pace, he's a catastrophe.
Yeah. No, I think I said on Wednesday too that out of our Højbjerg had to have a big game, and I think he did.
I think he did too.
In the middle of the park, mate, I think he nailed it, and that's
100%.
the best I've seen him play.
That's fact.
He was blocking everything. He was
right. When I said on Wednesday that Højbjerg is lending himself to the attack and like getting in advanced positions, that means he's won the midfield battle, and that means Spurs are playing well. And that's exactly what happened. We not once did we get Højbjerg to get too close as defenders and allow us to run into those sort of spaces.
Yeah, exactly. And that just allowed Bentancur more time as well, and he needs that. And it allowed Harry to stay up. It allowed Sonny to. It just all sort of clicked, but it all started with Højbjerg in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
Because I said beforehand, I was worried Romero drops out before the game. That worried me, because he's been our best player by a mile, I think. And we're playing with Davison Sanchez, who's played 15 minutes in the last 5 weeks or something. But I think that contributed to our slower start. I think we were kind of, let's just play him in a little bit here. But he stepped up, and he stepped up really, really well. And that allowed the midfielder to do what they did. And it all just revolved from there.
Well, at first, Arsenal's tactics was to get close to Davison Sanchez, because, when Spurs were trying to play the ball out the back,
we're pressing them.
We pressed them, and what was happening is that Eddie Nketiah was trying to close down Lloris, and there were times when Lloris remembered what his compatriot Meslier did, and made sure that there was one
fuck this.
Lloris went when
keep going,
kick it back. He passed it straight at Ben Davies, and Ben Davies actually had a proper angle, so he thought blah blah. And then when Arsenal realised that Spurs weren't going to play at the back too much, and that what was really clever was that when Davison Sanchez had the ball, Emerson Royale lent a hand.
Yeah.
And the same with Dyer. Davis lent a hand and got closer to in order to stop the pass being a sort of longer diagonal pass. They came closer.
Yeah, he ran into the pass.
When they came closer, what's happening is that they weren't afraid to play the ball over Tomiyasu and then let Kulusevski go and run in those little spaces. Yeah. And sometimes Kane and Song lent hands in both sides of the field, and then over the other side, Sessegnon lent a hand. So they did it really carefully. They know full well that they're not Man City, where their players can play at the back, where they've got a goalkeeper who's confident, and they used their brains. And also thinking, oh my God, this ain't going to work. We can't press the team out the thing. They've worked us out. Oh dear, down the sides, we're getting overlapped, and that was happening. We were getting overlapped on both sides of the pitch.
That was happening all day. Yeah. See, after we dropped Holding went out the window. Their heads dropped. Their head dropped. And the second half, I don't know if you ever played when you get down to 10 men straight away. The orders are usually get tight. Do you know what I mean? Get tight, get compact. So that way we can kind of hold our shape and maybe hit on the counter. Second half came in. Did you guys, I know I'm saying from the Spurs end, it would have been much of the same, which was fair enough. But from the Arsenal side, I don't know what the fuck the orders were from the manager, because when they came out, they were in limbo, Kenny Ken. I don't know, Marty, did you notice it? We were either tight or we were completely open like Leeds, going forward like Leeds. I didn't know what the fuck the orders were. I was completely confused on what these boys were doing. Shambles.
Yeah. Well, whatever the plan was, is that it got killed. Real quick. It was like basically like David versus Goliath, where David gets the catapult and stones Goliath right between the eyes, and it's game over because Song scored the goal and that was it. But you have to again look at Gabriel with Kane. How did his air? He allowed Kane to out-muscle him and get in front of him and basically go all over him. And so basically, all Kane did was right, here's a wall. I'm taking out a defender. Off you go, mate. None of our midfield, no one is picking up Song, the free man. They assumed that Gabriel was going to clean out Kane. And that's the thing that really annoyed me about that goal, is that no one's pessimistic. No one's thinking about the second phase of play in that area. No one's thinking that, hang on here, Song's free.
Yeah. But even talking about the thinking part, though, the second goal from the corner,
Nketiah.
Why is Nketiah marking Kane on the far post? And he ball watched it.
We didn't even have players on either post.
Basic stuff, right? But
that's what happened against Leeds, though, isn't it? Marty, our goal against Leeds, that's what happens.
Same thing.
Absolutely.
Exactly the same thing. A long ball, far post, and poor defending. And that's a good point, Marty.
Yeah. No, it's just, to me, that's when I just went, you know what? Mentally, they're running a bit. It's got to them. So, the crowd's fired up. I'm sure Kenny will tell me, but I reckon that was loud. That second goal went in, and all of a sudden there was a bit of belief around the place.
It was murder. The abuse we were getting, because where we're sitting, we're in the away end. And it's all safe standing. Beautiful ground, by the way. But what we didn't realise is that there's this little square box, hospitality box, with Spurs fans. Then up the top of the other stands are Spurs fans. And then when you go round the sides, around the aisles, around the quadrants of the stadium, you've got lower tier, and you've got Spurs fans right next to us. The stewards had no chance, and that's the procedure noise. But I always say, right, I always say that when a corner goes in, if the opposition wins the first header and they actually flick it on, there's no way you've got any chance defending that situation, no matter whether you have a man at the ball. Because what's happening, right, is that the man at the ball, the man on the second ball, is on his heels. He's not in a sort of positive position.
Yeah.
Because what's happened, right, is that
He's shifting.
you always practice it, don't you? Whenever your corner comes in, you always say to one of your most of your defenders. Remember, Tony Adams used to do it really well, and sometimes Gary Mabbott used to do it at Tottenham, where get on the get the far post, get the far post. He's not expecting you because when he's trying to defend you, he's like this in a sort of like position where he's square on. If you're square on, you can't get your whole body turned to defend that situation. So you're square on and you're basically stuck in quicksand. So the guy who's at the far post is the one who basically is in a better position to attack the ball. So that's why you see a lot of penalties given where they get rugby tackled.
Yeah.
Because the guy who's on the sort of far post, especially when there's a flick on,
it's
cannot get his body to attack the ball because the ball's coming at such a pace that he's got nothing to do. So all he can do is either commit a foul or just pray that his goalkeeper helps him out there. And because the goalkeeper's not in a position,
shifting,
it's a free header. Just like Leeds, Halente scored that volley. Same thing, Kane header. Even though Nketiah was on the line, Nketiah's in the wrong position. His body shape's all wrong.
He's ball watching.
Ball watching.
Ball watching.
But to me, of all players, to be marking him, I mean, he's a young fella. He's a striker, and it's like to me, if I'm Arsenal, I'm going right. Well, Son's taking the corner. Where's Harry Kane? And we've got your striker standing out there going, "Yeah, I'm out." To me, that just seemed a bit, the mental side of things. Come on, boys, switch on. He's dangerous over here. Let's get it sorted. It just seemed odd. I
think what it is, right, is that the dangerous area, though, you've got to give, Leeds credit and Spurs credit, is that they won the first header. And if you get the flick on.
Oh, absolutely.
Because everyone talks about Arsenal being really good at corner routines, at set pieces, where they're well drilled, like they do the zonal marking, and they say, right, the guy who's in your zone is your player. You're not going to get tight to him because he's going to spin off you. And then once he spins off you, you're in a kind of a set position where you can't get your body shape to attack the ball. Yeah. So by winning that flick on, that's good. That's good play by Tottenham and Leeds at the time. So no matter how, because you look at when Son gets the penalty, gets the ball, takes the corner, we're in a good shape. You actually want someone on the post to kick the ball off the line and everything. So he's in a great shape. But the problem is when the ball is flicked, when Spurs win that first header, that's when the problem starts. Because I think what's happened is that it's hard to defend from a flick on. Because the body shape isn't built for picking up a flick on.
You see, you're spot on there, but for me,
100%.
Yeah, for me, I saw the mistakes that we made against Leeds, right? I see that, and I see the same thing happening here. What's wrong with putting a man either end of the post? What's wrong with that?
Well, to stop the first header, going,
put a man either end of the post. And the thing is, for me, like if when you're defending a corner, you're man on man, big boy. It's simple. Pick up your man, like for like. Because if you're not going to go and put Cedric up against fucking Harry Kane, that's a stupid. And what I found in this is I've got Nketiah watching the ball come in. Now, in the position that he was in, Nketiah was useless. He was better off marking the post, sitting on the post, right there on the post. Because if you're going to ball watch, you might as well be there and leave Harry Kane open. Because if he was on the post, that would have made that area a lot more tight. A player on each post. This is old school stuff. You know what I'm talking about, boys. This is old school stuff. Player either post, make the goal a bit narrower, and if you got to go 1-on-1, you match your man for man. We weren't matching man for man, and that's the way Rob Holding got his goal. If you remember, he was mismatched. And if you mismatch in a corner, what are you going to get? Look at the size of Harry Kane. He ain't a little boy. He's a big boy. So the thing is, you need to match him with someone of the same size. It's fucking simples. That's basic stuff, guys. Like, honestly, in this game, I saw that. I saw the third goal, and there could have been a fourth. Son had an effort. You remember it was off balance? I thought goal, and he skied it. That could have been a double for him.
What about in the first half when Emerson Royale again?
Oh, the header.
No, the first half when he actually comes from the right hand side, the ball comes in, no one's picking him up, and he managed to ghost into the box, and he's put the ball over the top with his right foot. So his left foot.
Yeah.
No, there were chances.
Oh, there were a few. Arsenal had their chances. I won't knock it back. Odegaard had a chance. I know in the first half we had our opportunities in the first 20. And second half, I don't know, did you see that 1-2 between Saka and Martinelli was real flash, got into Nketiah that bobbled. I think that was all we had.
He had a shot in the first half, which Lloris probably could have caught it in one hand, but he decided to make sure it was for the cameras. And then there was the little setup where Odegaard had that shot, which straight at Lloris. But let's face it, right? You know, North London derbies are North London derbies for a reason. And you can't just switch it on. Well, Spurs are just as guilty of this as us.
Yeah, the first time they did it the first time, switched off at the Emirates. We switched off at the bloody at White Hart Lane. These two teams.
Yeah, I don't know which performance was worse. I think ours was probably worse than Spurs' when they came over. At least Spurs got a goal.
Yeah.
At least when after Spurs scored a goal, they tried. They actually tried to get another goal and try and take a 3-3 because Ramsdale made some really good saves. The one from Lucas Moura, which took a couple of fixtures and he put over the bar. So that was at 3-1. So at least Spurs should have shown a bit of passion after the disaster, which was the first half. But us, it's pathetic. It was a disgrace and the reason why it's disgrace is because it's basically we thought that wouldn't it be great if we went to Hart Lane and won at Spurs and make sure we clinched the Champions League at Tottenham's ground.
Well, you know what? It would have been great. It would have been great, but why don't you go in there with some fucking desire and passion and do the job?
No, because apparently Spurs lost to Brighton at home. Spurs couldn't beat Burnley, so how are they going to beat us? There was all these silly comparisons you get where it's fun anyway. It's not silly, it's great. But pick your ideal Arsenal's Spurs 11. Let's put all Spurs players in there. Let's put all Arsenal players in there.
Yeah. Bias.
Tottenham players, and we're played the match. Play the match.
Yeah.
I believe all the players. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you reckon too, Kenny, like being inside the ground. But to me, with about 20 minutes to go, it was almost like both teams switched to their next game. It almost seemed like Arsenal went, all right, we're probably not going to get back into this one, boys. Yeah.
You took Son off.
That's what it felt like to me.
Who was really upset to come off. Eddie Nketiah didn't look happy to come off from my vantage point. And it was one of those things where Spurs went, you know what, we got Burnley. We're going to be, let's face it.
Working hard.
We're going to have to work a lot harder with the ball because Burnley are going to create a situation where they're not going to allow us to get those crosses in and get our fullbacks going through. So basically, we've got to find another way because if we put little crosses in, me and Tchaikovsky are going to love all that. And all Burnley are going to do, because that's what they did to us, they're going to say, McNeil, Dwight, just hold the ball up, run into areas, and let's see we follow you. But if we don't follow you, just have a time-wasting shot. And I think that's going to be Burnley's tactics. If Spurs scored first, you're winning 5-0.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking the next game that's coming up, Marty, you guys have got Burnley, we got Newcastle. What do you think about Burnley?
Yep.
What are you thinking?
Mate, I think this is about the only time I'm happy we lost to them last time because we should at least think we owe them one.
Yeah.
And you know what? If we everything that we put into that derby, if we go out there tomorrow in our time and stuff the ball around and do mate, we don't deserve to be anywhere else than where we are. So if we're not fired up to go out and do the same thing, I know it's not a derby. I know there's not the natural.
Doesn't matter. It's 3 points. You need them.
Doesn't matter. For us, we need 3 points because not only will it give us 3 points, it puts us back in fourth.
Yep.
And we say, there you go, boys, off to Newcastle. Give it a crack. So look, I'm never confident with Tottenham, you know that. But I think we'll be right. But, who knows? Who knows?
Kenny Ken, do you reckon that Spurs can get that win against Burnley? I think they can. Honestly, I think it's going to be a tough game, but I think I can see Spurs going in there and winning it 2-0.
I think what's happening is that we're still in the ascendancy because we still got the points. But if Spurs are serious about getting in the top four, they have to, like I said, forget the Arsenal game and go with a lot of intensity and don't underestimate Burnley. Because
Burnley are like a dog now with a bone because they're fighting a relegation battle. That's one thing at Burnley you've got to be worried about.
And another thing, because it has a catastrophic circumstances, especially financially for Burnley, if they go down, because they got a loan that they have to replay with immediate effect if they go down. But obviously from a standpoint as well, they're not playing well, but they're capable of getting results. Remember, they've had their managers bounce with the new coach Jackson, and now that's come to a situation where they've had a bit of a lull. You don't want them to have another manager's bounce. I hope it happens that you do get a manager's bounce, but I think with the way you played against us, if you repeat that intensity against Burnley, then you're going to win pretty comfortably. Because if you think about it, there's a good source of encouragement for Tottenham in terms of going to Anfield and taking it to Liverpool and thinking, you know what, we got something to play for as well, and then murdering us. Only thing that could stop Tottenham from beating Burnley is two things: overconfidence and basically not having a plan B.
Yeah,
because what happens is that one thing against Brighton is that you allowed Brighton to dominate the ball. Now Burnley are not as good as Brighton on the ball, but you didn't have a plan B. It was like
exactly
because you don't want a situation where they try and cut off the supply. And anything, Burnley won't press you.
Nah. They'll counter it. They'll just counter it.
But in the last third of the field, they are going to put bodies in where everyone's going to be putting little blocks. They're going to clear their lines, win headers.
Exactly. And that's where we've struggled.
Yeah.
So
the one thing.
What about you guys?
Sometimes
Newcastle.
See, that's the next one. Newcastle. For me, I know Ben White's going to play this game. I think that he's ill. Yeah, I think this illness shit, is not about illness, it's about poor form, and he doesn't want to say it. So wherever. I think Ben White's going to be playing. I know Cedric will be there. Tomiyasu will be there. I think the team
is going to play. Is there a back four? Because what's happening is that you're basically going there with a patched up back four where players are not playing in their right positions. You're going to have to play Ben White and Tomiyasu centre halves. You've got no choice, and you've got to play Cedric and Savage.
I think
because
you don't know what's happening with Gabriel.
I know what you're going to say, aren't you? You're going to tell me that Granit Xhaka's going to play at left back, aren't you?
I hate to say it.
Oh my God!
And you know who's going to be in the midfield?
We're going to have no midfield then.
Yes, we will. You know who's coming in then? Lokonga.
Lokonga and all right. So you're going to have Lokonga and El
like for like midfielders side by side in a 4-2-3-1. You watch. I guarantee it. He will put two like for like midfielders in a 4-2-3-1, and then trying to play the ball between the defenders. All right, through the midfield will be impossible. It'll be like playing 4-1-4-1. He'll do it. He will do it because if Gabriel does not play that game, he will put Granit Xhaka in his left back.
He's got a hamstring injury. He's out for the rest of the season.
Well, there you go.
You don't recover from a hammy in 11 days.
No, it's impossible. No. So Granit Xhaka will play left. I'm telling you, I was saying to guys, they're going to know though. Oh, yes, he will. Yes, he fucking will. Because if he puts Tavares over there, Newcastle are going to have a field day.
Well, the thing about it is that we need to win the match.
I know.
So if we don't win the game, so the thing about it is that you've got a problem. If you don't play Tavares, then you, from an attacking prospect, you're killing Martinelli.
Yeah, destroying him.
But if you play Tavares and we don't at left back, where he doesn't really have much help anyway from someone to put their arm around because we haven't got senior players in there, we're going to struggle. But you have to win the game. You're going to have to be brave. And you've got to play Devarge for the balance of the team.
Well,
you can't play Tommy Ash out there because he's a good defender. But football's about winning football matches. About attacks. Left backs are wingers now.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to play Devarge.
Well, see, the thing for me is, and correct me guys if I'm going down the wrong path. I wanted Saka to go back into left back previously. He won't do it, but I think he should. Now, this is the reason why. He won't do it. He won't put Saka in as left back, even though Saka could play left back better than Tavares. And he can go forward, he can come back. He won't do it because he's his star boy. He's an asshole. If he put Saka in as left back, right? If he put him in as left back, you'd find that he could at least defend and support Martinelli. Then you could chuck fucking Pepe on the right, even though I know he's outcast and he's not best friends with him anymore. You put him on the right, you could put Nketiah in the centre and leave Martinelli on the left. And if you don't want to put Pepe on the right, fucking chuck in ESR. Yeah? You don't have the problem there. But he won't move Saka to left back. I don't know why. I don't know if it's in the contract. I don't know what it is. But Saka...
No. I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because last season when we were struggling, it was give the ball to Saka and he win the game for us. It's nothing. It hasn't changed.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
Changed.
You got to wake up. You got to be a tactician here. If he's not going to do that, if he's not going to put Saka at left back, then the only way we can play this game is for him to pull his head out of his alpha 4-2-3-1 and play a 4-4-2. We play a 4-4-2. We'll be fucking boring. We'll have two banks of four. It'll be solid. We could win this game that way. But he won't switch to a 4-4-2 because it's not in fashion. Not a 4-4-1, not a 4-4-1-1. A 4-4-2 classic fucking George Graham shit. We could do it that way then.
He'll do it if we go. He'll only play 4-4-2. We go up.
And I believe that. I fucking believe that. I reckon we could win that game, but I still reckon we could win it. But you know how it's going to be done? It's going to be a fucking nail biter. I reckon it's going to be low scoring. I reckon it's going to be low scoring.
The thing about it is that we have to assume that Newcastle players are playing for their places because there's a massive war chest. And because there's a massive war chest, players will think, hang on here, I want to be playing with
a case
with a new black cross. So, for instance, someone like Chris Woods, who's from Burnley, he's going to come to my. I'm hearing that Callum Wilson might be coming back into the team, so he might be on the bench. He might even start alongside Chris Woods. Then you've got, Sam Maximan. Let's face it, there's a bit of an end product there, and then you got Gimaresh as well. And he's another one who's coming in with your kind of goal. Plus, you got the last home game of the season. We are walking into the fires then where we didn't manage to get Spurs and got bullied. We get bullied again, and we especially with a patched up defence. Top four's gone.
Yeah,
top four's gone.
They need to go out there and play like it's the end of the world. They need to go. Like I was talking to Marty before we jumped on this vid, right? And I was watching some stuff from old Neil Warnock, and he was screaming at his boys in the back saying, you need to die for 3 fucking points here. You need to go out there and die for 3 points. And that's what these guys got to do. If you're not going to go out there and play with desire and passion and with some fucking heart, then there's no point playing for this club. There's no point, or any club.
100%, because you have to, like I said, you have to be, in order to be on the ball, you have to be slightly pessimistic, not negative, pessimistic. You have to assume the Spurs are playing Norwich at Carrow Road, already relegating Norwich, with lone players who never wanted to be there in the first place and can't wait to, like the end of the season because they can go back to their parent clubs, And you have to assume, right, that despite the fact that Norwich are going to probably try their best, they're not good enough to beat Tottenham.
Nah.
Even if they go 2 goals up, Spurs will win 4-2.
Yeah, all day.
So Newcastle has to be it. We have to, because even if Everton are safe, right, I don't need anything to stay up. There's no way you can even contemplate relying on Norwich. Norwich are one of the worst teams, alongside probably Derby County in 2008, Swindon in '94. Yeah, to actually be in the Premiership.
Yeah.
Teams, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're a shambles. So, I don't know. Look, I think we can beat Newcastle, but it's going to take some tactical genius. And this dumb fuck needs to fucking open his fucking mind up a little bit. Realise that he's got a right winger on the fucking right winger that could sit there and play on the right, and he's got a right winger that can play left back. understand that some players can play two positions, and your fucking star boy can play left back, so you don't have a problem at the moment. And you can support your left winger, and you can make that side strong if you do this.
You know why he's scared to get rid of him, because he thinks that Saka's the only player who can actually open teams up and actually create panic. And he generally believes that he doesn't. He knows Martinelli could do it, but consistently this season, Saka's been the danger man.
Yeah, but
and that's why he's scared.
What was Saka doing at Leeds? What was Saka doing at fucking Tottenham?
Not a lot.
Fucking, you know what he was doing? Sweet fuck all is what we'd say in Australia. What do you reckon, Marty? Sweet fuck all? Fair enough?
Probably sums it up. But there's probably a point for me too, is that you've got a gaffer at Newcastle who's out to impress.
Exactly.
Because there's a whole heap going on in the summer there, and if that last home game, Arsenal travelling there, Champions League and all this, and he can get his boys up for a win, that's good for him. That's massive for him. So he's not going to let those boys go, look, last game of the season at home, enjoy yourselves. Me personally, there's battles on the field, but I reckon on that sideline, he'll want to outcoach Arteta, and that's where I see a difference as well. I still think you'll get up, but I think that will be a battle. That will be a battle.
Fuck yeah. And you know what? For us, Everton after that, and who's their coach? Ladies and gentlemen, he loves Arsenal, so we all know what he's going to... Yeah, you're going to know what he wants to fucking do. He'd love to fuck us on the last day of the fucking season.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You've got to be pessimistic and be on the ball. But this whole mess was all started, really, when we lost against Crystal Palace. We lost against Brighton, we lost against Southampton. We actually assumed that we were going to come unstuck against Chelsea and Chelsea.
It flipped.
Man United and West Ham, and we actually got results against them. But the thing that Arsenal fans refuse to accept and even acknowledge is that we were poor in large periods of all those games we won, and that we rolled the dice, and Nelly got the dice with the one dot, because those games could have gone either way. Chelsea could have gone either way. Man United could have gone either way. Leeds could have gone either way.
Leeds was shocking.
And in the first time against West Ham, we were shocking, even though we weren't when they were up. And what's happening now? We've gone to Spurs, and all those problems we had tactically and performance-wise, and the mistakes we were making, Spurs, it all came to roost against Tottenham, because that's when I kept on saying we're going to get hurt one of these days, and hopefully it's not going to be this season. And we got hurt. This burst of force has been coming since since the Palace game. People think, oh well, Nenny's come in, he's done well, and Ketty has done well, and all that. Yeah, in spite of the fact we've been shocking in certain parts of the game.
Yeah, the consistency that we've got at the moment is we're as consistent. Right now, look, we're as consistent, and I was saying it earlier to a friend of mine, as a Fiat is. No shit. We're hit and miss. And look, in my opinion, guys, the Newcastle game, the next game for Arsenal, Newcastle, that's the be-all and end-all. That's the hardest game we've got here. That game, these boys need to show up off the bat and stop fucking floating around. We need to show up to that game. I think Tottenham are going to go to Burnley. They're going to be pressing the shit out of them. Now, if they're unlucky because of fatigue or blah, 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 which Conte was smart by getting his key players off, so that way they're not too fatigued. But if they're lucky and they go in there and play hard, I can see Spurs coming out on that game all day at 2-0. All day, even with Burnley fucking playing a low block. What we need to do is take the game to fucking Newcastle. And if we take the game from them early, we
win comfortably.
Yeah.
We win easily.
Because they crumble.
We win that game.
Yeah, they crumble. Once it goes like, they go, oh, fuck it. And you know what? They've got nothing to play for. But if we sit back and allow them to hit us, sayonara.
If they score the first goal, we can't win this.
No.
We struggle against teams when we score the first goal. You look at statistically, since the start of the calendar year, we conceded first, and we only won once against Wolves. We scored first and only lost once against Man City. All the other times where we've conceded first, we've lost. All the other times when we conceded,
when we scored first,
we've won. So it's one of those things where the results kind of match us. So that's a mentality problem. Where if we score the first goal, our tails are up and our confidence is high. We believe in what our manager's trying to tell us. The manager's happy with us, and we take games away from teams because our athleticism and exuberance will enable us to, be okay in the final stretches, especially with the pace we have. But if we go a goal down, then the doubt's creeping. The confidence goes.
Belief.
And then what will happen is that we make another mistake and the game gets taken away from us.
Yeah, I can see that. Guys, look, honestly, I think for me, that's the North London derby. It's finished off this season the way it's gone. Spurs have got one. We've gotten one. Spurs have really performed well in this one. I'm not going to make a prediction for the top 4 right now because it's impossible. I never made a prediction before and I won't make it now because I am not happy with anything I'm seeing, not from Arsenal, and I'm not saying Spurs are crap, but I'm not convinced either by Spurs. I'm not convinced by Spurs, Arsenal, or Chelsea.
Both clubs are in positions for big clubs where they shouldn't be. Arsenal, you don't think it's Spurs. Arsenal fans are a bit better about the Spurs, but it's a bit of a. You're going backwards, Tottenham, where when you had that kind of revival under Poch, you weren't talking about top 4. You wanted to win the title, win trophies. Now you've gone back into your bad old ways of false God. And we Arsenal should never ever have been happy with the top 4 because we always seen the club that should be challenged for the titles.
We were doing that before.
We became back in the top 4 because we were out of it for 6 years. We'll fight for 6. It's going to be next year. So all of a sudden, the top 4 is a trophy. I think for clubs like Man United, Tottenham, and Arsenal to even safe, I can't wait they got the top 4. It's worrying. It's really worrying.
Exactly.
It's abysmal. It's an abysmal mentality. It is. But you know what? I mean, let's just be honest. These 3 teams have really dropped off the perch.
Yeah.
And honestly, I can't see a way back. I can see maybe Man United climbing. They're doing some good things in the background. They're appointing the right managers, the right sporting directors, and they're doing they're doing some stuff in the background that's very dangerous. So next season,
dangerous to all soul because they're the biggest club in the country. Whenever Man United get it right, 9 out of 10 times we can't compete.
Exactly,
Man City, Chelsea can't compete. It's Man United,
100%,
and that's going to put pressure on both these two sides now of Tottenham and Arsenal picking up the scraps. So it's going to be tough, and we got to get this right. Like this season needs to finish high for Arsenal, needs to finish high for Tottenham. Now look, top 4 Champions League and Europa are both up there, right? But next season, these two clubs got to get serious, or they're seriously going to get fucked. Seriously, we're going to be gone, and that's
definitely the only thing Spurs have got in their favour, but they haven't, is that they've got Conte. But he won't stick around for too long. So you've got to go through.
He needs to be backed.
Another manager.
If he gets backed, which I don't think he will.
Arsenal have got continuity in their favour, but not the right man, in my opinion, for the job. Because at the end of the day, it's saying that Arsenal are happy for now to be a Europa League club or a top 4 club. Let's face it. By giving Arteta a contract when we mathematically qualify for the Europa League, is saying that we're a Europa League club. And they're happy with that.
Yeah, we should be. Yeah, that's how we've lowered our standards. But the thing is, unfortunately, as much as we look at where Arsenal are and where Tottenham are right now, right? End of the day, everyone looks at you're going to say our manager's not good enough. I'll agree. Right, I wanted Allegri, but there's no way in the world that we're going to attract a fucking manager like Allegri with the sort of passion and desire that this club's got right now. Not with Edu, Vinay, and with the owners, because that just screams. And that's with Levy as well.
You see, but the thing about it is that I still don't. You have to ask yourself: how did Tottenham waste Mourinho? As much as you didn't like his football, you're talking an elite employee, and yet you got him. you allowed him to get in a situation where he was happy to just take the money and run. How does that work? How does that work?
Yeah.
He didn't even have to work for his money. You let him get away with bloody murder. He was like, oh yeah,
it's
right,
a one-word answer, leaky.
Yeah,
Levy is a
my
leech.
boggles.
Bloody leeches, both
My
these owners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, it's great.
guys. Well, on that note, guys, I know it hasn't been great for Arsenal. Marty, you should be smiling. You should be happy to go and face Burnley. And I'm hoping that
Marty, remember this one word that even Spurs fans use, and that's why Marty isn't smiling too.
I know what you're going to say. Go.
There's one word begins with S. Spursy.
I know.
Spursy. Yeah, absolutely.
And I
should have it tattooed across here somewhere.
I think we used to say back in the day either the word Spursy or they Spursed it up.
Yep. Absolutely.
North London, and
we're good at it too.
We're Spursy. I don't know what do you call Arsenal then? Because we used to say the team that we capitulate under pressure as well.
And
then we have
gunnery.
So I don't know how should we call them Arseny? Arseny?
I got a better word. It's a word I use a lot. Do you guys know what I'm going to say? How about fucked?
Yeah.
I think that.
Or should we say we arsed it up?
We arsed
it up. We don't get top four. We arsed it up.
Fucking mate, both clubs. North London. Honestly, these two teams should be called the Shambhala teams.
Well, they are. They've been like that since 2019. Since both of us got to two European finals, both fucked it up.
Exactly.
Oh God, guys! I'd like to. No. I really appreciate you guys jumping on this stream, on this vid. To be honest, I hope and pray.
One more question for both of you.
What do you got?
Are you going to be watching the FA Cup final?
Yeah.
And two, which station Australia is showing it? Is it Optus or is it Fox?
I'm not watching it on any of those kind of things. I'm watching it a different way.
Oh, all right, fair enough. We have people like that in England. Don't worry about that. What about you, Marty?
Is Marty watching it a different way as well?
They don't have free to
no.
I've got FA Cup final.
No, it's on Paramount. I think it's on the same channel as our local league showed. So it's the legal station is Paramount.
This is all. Is that
a film company?
Yes, and they've got the rights to the A League. Yes.
Yeah, go figure.
So no Channel 9 and no Channel 7 as to football.
Nah,
wow,
fucked here.
Nothing.
Nah, nothing. Yeah, it's fucked.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm watching that. Now you know what? Well, I want to ask you, Ken, what do you want to see in this FA Cup final?
Well, personally, I would like to see it go. I like to see the caliber of football I saw in the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah,
I would like to see it because I don't care what anyone says. That was one of the best 0-0s I've ever seen. Both teams had goals disallowed. I still don't know to this day how Lukaku was offside in extra time.
No, I know. It's called Premier League.
I don't know what part of his body was offside because it looked like his arms, his chest, and his foot was well behind the line. Yet they said it was offside.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Do me, mate. Kill me, mate. No. Kill me. Fuck this. But
don't even start.
I'm going penalties. I want penalties. If Liverpool play to the best of their ability, they win. But one thing about Chelsea, Chelsea in one-off games are still probably the best in this country at winning a game. Everyone had Man City down as favourites in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
Except for Chelsea. And no one saw it coming until we saw Man City's team sheet where he played all the attacking players, basically had no attacking player, no creative player to come off the bench. He had Aguero to come off the bench, and basically there was no creativity to come off the bench because all these creative players were the pitch. And he basically said to Chelsea, thanks, mate. Kovacic and Conte, just make sure none of them get the ball. And basically, win backs, just keep it tight. And By the way, let's just play the ball over the top and see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, we play the and look, yeah.
Easy as. Fucking easy as. Marty, what do you want to see? What are you reckoning? What do you want to see?
Mate, yeah, I'm the same. I really don't care who wins. It's, but I hope there's got some goals in it. I hope it's an entertaining game. I hope it's not just a bloody game of chess. What's it on at 1 o'clock in the morning here or something?
Yeah, 1:30.
I want to 1:30.
It's 4:45 here in England. Hey, and I've got some good news for you, both. For the first time since, for the first time since 1988, the final is being shown on both ITV and BBC, just like we did in the good old days when Marty used to live here.
Yep, mate. Do you remember you used to get up in the morning and watch the FA Cup cartoons, and all day long it was FA Cup on both channels? We don't have that here no more. We don't have that. We stopped having that. I think probably from about we stopped having that since maybe since the Champions League became the Alpha and Omega. Teams stopped taking it seriously.
They flicked it.
And then what's that with TV stopped taking it seriously. And so we didn't have the sort of thing where, everyone who never kicked a ball in their life wanted to be involved in a cup final day because it was an occasion. We used to have, do you remember the FA Cup Mastermind? And you had both ITV and BBC and being on the cup final bus and everything. You know what I mean?
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Oh, you get the bus to the ground and the players walking out in the field and
no, we don't get that no more.
That was coverage.
It's, you know what? They slowly took away the magic of the FA Cup, and that's media, that's fucking everything. And you know what? It's unfortunate, but it's all Champions League, Premier League. It's everyone wants big. They think that the FA Cup isn't that big, but for me, it always will be. But you can't win with it.
It didn't matter who played in it. No, that's the thing.
No,
it didn't matter. I mean, I remember watching
the country.
Arsenal beat Hull. It's Hull.
Yeah. Was it? I mean, I remember watching West Ham win, Trevor Brooking scoring a goal. I was on a Cub Scout camp out in the back of somewhere.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Sorry about bringing that one up, boys. But I remember watching that at a Cub Scout camp in a little, one of the guys had a little portable grey, black and white TV and said, here we go. And everyone didn't matter who was playing, always watched the FA Cup.
How old were you when you moved to Oz?
I was 12, so that would have been, when was Trevor Brooking? That was 80. Was it 80?
Oh, so you moved in 1980 to Oz?
Oh, to 81. 81 we came out.
But, so you moved after the FA Cup final against Man City or before it?
After it.
Did you
singing about Ricky Villa on the plane?
The accent when you first moved over to Australia.
I still do, mate. You know what I mean?
You had a Cockney accent, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely, mate. No one had a clue what I was going on about.
How did they find your Cockney accent when you first moved to Australia?
Mate, yeah, they didn't have. I mean, I didn't have a clue what fair dinkum and all this sort of crap was on about, and they had no idea what I was. I had my number one haircut, my skinhead, and I was translucent white. And mate, yeah, it was fun and games, mate. It was fun and games.
So when did you stop supporting England in anything and started becoming a bona fide Aussie, fair dinkum Aussie?
Oh, mate. Well, I got naturalised in '88. So I still follow the English football team. I don't mind the Socceroos, but I still follow England. But other than that, I'm pretty much Aussie in most other things. But yeah, still follow the England football team.
Well, so for the last 4 years, I've actually acted like a top nation side. Got to semi-finals and got to Euro 2020. I still think that Gareth Southgate is the stumbling block to England winning anything because he's just so negative as a manager.
He's a fucking joke, mate. That guy's a fucking joke.
I'm the only guy out here with the Euros who's singing "It's Coming Home." So whatever that means.
Oh fucking hell, mate! Fucking hell.
So you basically know the words to both national anthems, the "God Save the Queen" and "Advance Australia Fair." Then,
mate, let me tell you, my first day in school, which was when we emigrated, was the following week, and I had to go to school, and they said, "School assembly, stand up, everyone. We're going to sing the national anthem."
Yep.
I was just about to belt out "God Save the Queen," and this other song started, mate. I had no idea. So you're right, I did.
yeah, pretty quickly.
We drill it into kids when we were young. You know what I mean? It's like fucking borderline communism.
Oh.
Every fucking morning we used to do that. Yeah, I remember that.
well, back in the day, BBC One, before we had 24-hour TV, at midnight, what used to happen is that when the BBC One used to end at midnight, you used to have say, basically, and here's us for the rest of the night. And they used to play the national anthem, and then your TV used to go bing, and that was it.
And you had
it
the test pattern come up.
Yeah, you had the that's it on BBC One, BBC Two, is it? Yeah,
fucking hell.
Like, I call her noughts and crosses girl.
Yeah, she's sitting there with her doll.
Oh shit.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, guys, look, it's been a pleasure. All I can say is that Arsenal and Spurs, Arsenal in the mud at the moment, Spurs trying to go up for fucking top 4. I really appreciate you guys jumping on the show. I'm hoping Spurs fuck up. I'm hoping Arsenal can show up. You never know what's going to happen with these two teams. But on that note, I'd like to thank Marty. Thank you for coming on, mate. Cheers. Kenny Ken.
Thanks, wait.
Always a pleasure, Kenny Ken. Always a pleasure. Pray for my... Pray.
And you know what? I didn't talk about the things I wasn't allowed to talk about.
Watch yourself now. Guys,
oh my God.
Guys, look, from the Aussie Gooner and from the boys on this panel, it's fucking Uru, guys. It's Uru.